בעזרת השם נעשה ונצליח, והשם עלינו ברחמיו ירוויח. So the subject of the shiur, as I mentioned, is the Bible code. What is the Bible code? I'm going to explain what is the Bible code. And then I'm going to try to get to the roots of the Bible code. We'll see how's it going. So we know that, Baal HaTurim. We'll see if it's Baal HaTurim or before Baal HaTurim. We'll see. Very good. We know that there is in our Holy Torah, Torah, we explain Torah. What is Torah? We're speaking about it many times. What did we say that Torah mean? The word Torah. Manual. Remember, we said Torah is a manual. But in our Torah, there is something else. More deep than what we think. There is also messages that HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent us. Those messages that there is in our Holy Torah, we can find by when we canceling the space between every word and we creating one big, long letters, millions of letters. But it can happen only in two conditions. Actually, three conditions. Number one, that we cancel the space between each word, Rabotai. Number two, that it's in Hebrew, that the word have to be in Hebrew. And I explain why Dafka in Hebrew. Because every letter symbol a number. It's also a number. For example, Aleph, it's 1 in Hebrew. Bet is 2 and onward until Yud. Yud is 10. Kaf, we're jumping to the 20. Do you understand what I'm saying? So every letter in Hebrew is a number. Beside the letters that it is. Everyone understand so far? Okay. Yes. We say that it's only in Hebrew because it have the alphabetic. Okay. We say that also it's when we're canceling the space between the word and we're creating one long continuation of words. But there's one more thing to it. You cannot take, and they tried, you cannot take any other text, even in Hebrew, and put it there and it will work. That means it can work only in our Holy Torah. That what I'm saying is, if we take a Hebrew book that's written by a human being, and we take that, and we cut part of the Torah and we put those words there, nothing going to work. That means that the Bible code, the messages that we get from the Torah, they're not going to work. Also, we have to understand what's happening here. The Torah have a special way that she given it to us. And with that, we're going to get in a few seconds. But we have to understand that the sequence of the hopping or the skipping, that's very important to understand in the Bible code. Okay? Any questions so far? Yes, David. I can't hear, David, loud.
Does this also apply to the writings at the end of the Tanakh, i.e. the prophets?
Everything, when I say Torah, it's Torah shebichtav, only Torah shebichtav. That means the Tanakh completely. Torah, Nevi'im, Ktuvim. Follow? Okay. Now,
so it's not only the 5 books, it's everything else.
Sorry, I missed you, sir.
Hold on, Tanakh.
Yeah. It's all the Tanakh, Pashut. Yeah. Okay, the sources. Where's the sources? What we found out in the last 20, 30 years since the computers, that was very difficult. Our sages knew about it thousands of years. And I'm going to bring sources. The Gemara in Masechet Ta'anit, Daf Tet Amud Aleph, that means page 9, folio 1. Tell us something very interesting. Listen to what, I'm going to read it in Aramaic, I'm translated to English, but let's listen what our sages say in Gemara. Leika mide de lo remiza bedeoraita. Hazal tell us that there is nothing that not been mentioned in our Holy Torah. 2,000 years ago. Okay? Now I'm going to move on. 450 years ago, Ramak, Rabbi Moshe Cordoviro. Rabbi Moshe Cordoviro wrote a book, Pardes Rimonim, The Orchard of the Pomegranate. It's a Kabbalistic book. And in that book, we call it Shar. Shar is a gate, but it's actually what we say in English, chapter 30. Okay? There he explained and he speak about the codes that there is in the Torah. Then the Gaon Mivilna, he wrote his commentary on the Zohar. Betikunei HaZohar he bring there also. In page 8, Amud Bet, that means page 8, folio 2, he also bring there. Today, in our days, I'm talking about on the last, there is one more person that he managed to crack it without a computer. That's Rabbi Chaim Michael Dov Weissmandel. He lived during the Holocaust. I'm going to mention him, and I'm going to bring one of his code that he managed to crack. And there he proved that the Torah is from Shamayim. No human being can write it. But today we know that there is the one of the giant and one of the most pioneer in that field. I don't know how many of you heard about him. Is Professor Eliyahu Ribs. Did you hear about him? He's a great, he lecture, Rabota, he's a genius, huh? He lecture in a university, okay, in a Hebrew University of Jerusalem. There is a mathematician, but our friend Meish doesn't agree with me. He says he's above that. He's a genius, am I right? Statistician. Do you understand? Then we have Dr. Doron Witztum. Doron Witztum is he's a doctor for physics. Also Dr. Moshe Ketz that searched that. I know that they call it doctor, I don't know how many doctor, but he's not. He's actually a writer, am I right? Michael Drozin.
Yeah.
Michael Drozin is actually a reporter. He make a lot of money from that. He make a big bucks when he wrote the Bible Code. I'm sure that many of you
He wrote about the Bible.
Yes.
He didn't write about it.
But he said that he found, we'll get to it in the end. Okay, so those are the geniuses. There is also Rav Zamir Cohen from Hidabrut, that if you want to see any one of those codes, how they've been cracked them, you can go to his website, and there you can find many more. Okay, so we see that the Bible code is actually not so new. Our sages knew about it thousands of years ago. I'm not talking about Avraham Avinu that wrote for us Sefer Kabbalah, the first Sefer Kabbalah that we have. Many of our sages knew about it. What is the Bible code? The skipping that we're talking, how does it work? Okay, so as we mentioned at the beginning, that the Bible code work only and specially about one idea. And that we are set with Meish, and we have to understand there is one idea to it. It's 7 and 8, the number 7 and 8, 4950. What does it mean? Why dafka 7 and 8? Remember? 4950. The number 49, Rabotai, the number 49, according to Kabbalistic, okay, represent the physical dimension that we have in this world. And that's equivalent to 7. You follow what I'm saying? The number 50, it's the spiritual dimension, above the physical dimension that we have here in this world. And that's equivalent to 8. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's above us.
You decided that, right?
The code, that's how it works. Hazal explained it to us. It's a secret that they found it today, that if you're skipping, and now I'm going to show it. We'll see how's it working. So if you look, before we start, I'm going to bring a few codes, and I'm going to show you only two, because there is hundreds and thousands of hundreds of thousands of sample. If you want site, I'll give you. You can go there and see whatever you want. A matter of fact, not only that, there is something very important. You know that everything, about I repeat it twice, mentioned in our Holy Torah. Each one of you mentioned, each person that exists in this world being mentioned, not only Jewish people. Everyone being mentioned in our Holy Torah. So as I mentioned earlier, I mentioned Rav Chaim Michael Dov Weissmandel. Rabbi Weissmandel, as I mentioned, lived during the Holocaust, in the Holocaust. And while he was in the Holocaust, he wrote a book, very interesting book, that book Torat Hamed, Kind Torah.
Did he survive the Holocaust?
Yes, he did. I will get to it. He wrote the book Torat Hamed. He moved then to United States. After they've been liberated, he gone to the States. He opened his own kehillah after that, and he died there. Immediately as he arrived, by the way, if you want some history, I'll tell you about Rabbi Weissmandel. As he arrived to the States, he got a stroke. Actually, he had a heart attack. He managed to come right, not 100%, as best that you can come. And the main reason that he didn't want to go to Israel, he said that he was in connection in Israel with the Zionists. And if you read the book, you want to read about it, there's a clash there between him and the Zionism in Israel. But while he was in the Holocaust, he was hiding from time to time. And instead getting to depression, he was looking at our Holy Torah. He had it all in his mind. And he managed to crack what we call the menorah code that you have in the front of you. Can you see the menorah in the front of you? Yeah. That's called the menorah code. What is the menorah code? The menorah code is one of Rabbi Weissmandel managed to crack it. How does it work? It's regarding the 5 books of Moses. What it means it's regarding the 5 books of Moses? He proved from the Hamisha Humshe Torah that the Torah, our Holy Torah, written by the Almighty. Not a human being can write it. How did he prove it? Let's start with Sefer Bereshit. If you take the word Bereshit, that's the first word in Sefer Bereshit. You remember? Take the Taf. Rabbi Weissmandel say, take the Taf. From the word Taf of Bereshit, count 49 letters. Count 49. After we count 49 letters, the 50th letters will be Vav. Count again 49. When I say count, I mean skip 49. The 50th letter going to be Resh. Again, count another 49. That means skip them. The 50th letter going to be Hey. You'll get Torah. That's from the beginning of the book. The same will happen from the end of the book. That means if we go to chapter 49, Pasuk 28, from the word Vezot, if we start from that word Vezot, from the Taf of the word Vezot, we count 49, we skip 49 letters, we reach to the word, to the letter Taf, Vav, onwards. We get from the front to the back of Sefer Bereshit the word Torah. The same thing, Rabotai, in Sefer Shmot. From the word Shmot, again 49 onwards. Sefer Vayikra, that, if you look, that's the middle branch. Can you see it there? There he says something completely different. There he finds something different. He found the name of the Almighty, Shem Havaya, Yud Kei, Vav Kei. How do you find it? You take the Yud, that in Sefer Vayikra, you skip 49 letter. The 50th letters that you get will be K. You skip another 49. When I say K, I mean Hey. From the Yud, K, Vav K. you get the name of the Almighty in Sefer Vayikra. When we go to the book of Bamidbar and Dvarim, it's completely different. The word Torah coming backwards. If you look at the sample that you have in the front of you, you'll see that there you get the word Torah backwards. And how does it work? From the letters Hey of the word Moshe, we skip 49, the 50th, okay, will be Resh. Sorry?
You're saying
In Bamidbar, the word Torah been written backwards.
so where do you start?
So where do you start? You start from the word of Moshe, where it's mentioned Moshe, from the Hey of Moshe. You skip 49, the 50th letters after that will be Resh. After that you skip 49, the 50th will be Vav, and then Tav. Rabbi Chaim Weissman, they'll say, from here, we prove that HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent us a special code. That the Holy Torah been written by who? Who's the middle branch? The Almighty. Who can write such a thing? Let's move on. We give another sample. I don't know how many of you can see the famous verse that we say on Friday night. Vayachelu hashamayim ve'aretz. You remember in a Kiddush? There I'm going to show there's one thing that I didn't brought because I was frightened. We're going to connect what Hazal tell us, Rabotai, Shabbat, the Jewish people, and the Almighty. We'll see that in that verse, there is all of them. Shabbat, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the name of the Almighty, the holy name, Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, and Israel. How does it work? But let's go to the sources first to understand that. In Midrash Bereshit Rabbah, chapter 11, verse 40, Hazal explained to us something extraordinary. Don't know how many of you know that Shabbat and the Jewish nation, they're husband and a wife. Did you know that? Philip, you look like I strike you by lightning. Okay. Shabbat and the Jewish people is a husband and wife. They have a covenant. That's the reason that we say that pasuk. HaKadosh Baruch Hu given Shabbat. There is 7 days in the creation, nachon? Sunday took Monday and onwards. When it came to Shabbat, Shabbat asked HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and who's going to be my partner? Who's going to be my partner? HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to her, Israel, the Jewish people will be your partners. What does it mean? Does it mean that the Jewish people obligated to keep Shabbat? Did you know that? That Jewish person obligated to keep Shabbat, and if he mehalel Shabbat, haz v'shalom, we know the punishment. Not only that, look at the difference. A person that is a Gentile, that's not Jewish, and he keeps Shabbat, you know that he's obligated for the same punishment of death?
For keeping.
If a Gentile keeps Shabbat, Goy, sheshamar Shabbat, hayav mita. He's not allowed to keep Shabbos. And if you ask every person during that doing conversion, when they was doing the conversion, and they keep the Shabbos, they have to do kind of an act to be mehalel Shabbat. Am I right, Simon? They have to be mehalel Shabbat. They can't keep a full Shabbat, even if they want, until they convert. Am I right? How do I know?
He didn't know.
He didn't know, so now you know. Okay. So now, let's move on and let's look at a sample that I brought. Yom HaShishi, you remember, on Friday night, we said that verse. Everyone agree with me? Yom HaShishi, ויחלו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם. Vayechal Elokim. Let's see. Let's count from the word Yud, from the letters Yud. Skip 7. What do you get? Yud. Can you see? From Vav, you skip 7, you get Shin. From the Mem, you skip 7, you get Resh. From the Tzadik of Haaretz, you skip 7, you get Aleph. And from the Mem Sofit of Tzevaam, you skip 7, you get Lamed, the word Israel. That means that the Jewish people and the Shabbos, they are partners. Okay? But we say that we're going to find here the name of the Almighty, Nachon. So now watch carefully. I didn't mark it here, but follow me. If you don't understand, stop me. From the first Yud that we have on Yom HaShishi, it's Yud. Can you see it? Skip to the next word, Hashishi, Hey. Can you see? Skip 3. Can you see K? Yud K. Are you with me? Stephen? Yes, everyone with me? Philip, are you with me? You missed it. Look at the word Yom. I tell you what. Yom. Can you see the word Yom? Yud. The second word is Hashishi. It starts with the letters Hey. Nachon? Go to the next one. Yachelu. The end of Shishi, we have Yud. Yud K. Okay, you with me? And then Vav and K. Can you see it? I see everyone confused again. Let's go word by word. Rabotai, word by word. Yom, can you see Yud?
Yes.
Hashishi, Hey.
Right.
Vayachelu, Vav.
Yes.
Hashamayim, Hey. Yud K, Vav K. Can you see it? You understand it now? So here, HaKadosh Baruch Hu put his holy name with the Jewish people, with Shabbat. That means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu given the 7 days to Am Israel.
He's put a code.
You understand? And that's the code. So in all different codes, you can find how is our Torah working. Yes?
You were given Shabbos in the Aseret Kibrot. Now, surely if you believe that, codes are with us.
Nachon, that's to people that believe. But there is people that don't believe. They say that our holy Torah been written by a human being. So we came to a generation that there is people that atheists, non-believers, or people that they're simple people, they don't know. HaKadosh Baruch Hu send us today computers. Why? Because we're too slow in our brain, we're too lazy. You know, in Hebrew they say, Dora Mahshev, the generation of the computer, I'm going to translate it. That's the generation that told the mind to sit. Dor she'amar larosh shev, lamoach shev. That means that we become so lazy. I remember when I was a little boy, in Israel we used to have makolet, what you call it here, like like a small supermarket, like Spa. I remember the guy there, before I even work it out how much I owe him, because we used to take few things, he used to calculate it in his brain. No computer, no calculator. Today, in Matric, can you see any boys without a calculator sitting on a class? How many of us in Matric have a calculator on our desk? Rabotai? Huh? Exactly.
Block table. Block table.
You remember those, huh? The slide beam, you remember that we used to?
Chinese.
Okay. Yes, before I continue.
Okay, you said at the beginning that everyone mentioned, everything's mentioned in the
Absolutely.
I can prove it.
Why, and all these chochamim and brilliant people have devised the code. Why don't we know when it's end of days? Why do we know when
No,
it's
you
the end
can't
of
look at
days?
the future.
Exactly what I'm getting now.
You can't look at the future.
That's the next subject that I want to speak. Can we tell the future? What we call it in English, can we decode the code? Can we do the decoding? That's what they call it in language of those professionals. That means decoding the code. Can we or not? Now, if you look, there's another letter in English that I've given you. And it's not so simple. And that letter that you see in the front of you, that's a letter that's been written by Michael DeRozan. Michael DeRozan, he's a reporter. He worked for the Washington Post. He made a lot of money because he jumped on that wagon that when they found the decoding. And just in South Korea, he sold so many books. What is the South Korean have to do with the Jewish Bible? I don't understand. But a matter of fact, it's not true. Because you know that in Korea they're learning Gemara now? I don't understand how is it working.
Maybe they lost trials.
It's all from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But anyway, let's go and see what Michael DeRozan tells us here. In the front of you, it's thanks to Meish, there is a letter here that Michael DeRozan wrote a letter to the Prime Minister of Israel a few years before he'd been murdered. And in his letter here, he warning the Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin about what's going to happen to him. But because he wasn't close to him, by the way, just to tell you, Michael DeRozan didn't know Hebrew. You know that? After he wrote the letter, he learned Hebrew. You know why? Because he wanted to see it himself. He wasn't the one that was so afundi. He jumped on a wagon.
Yeah. The Rips is the guy.
The person that done all the hard work, it's Professor Eliyahu Ribs. He's a genius. And such a modest human being. You never seen. When you see that person, when you speak to him, it's beyond. I saw an interview of him on one of the stations in Israel when they interviewed him. What a genius. You agree with me, Meish?
Well, he's a top statistician.
I think that he's I don't know if I'm allowed to say it because that video is going to go to the YouTube. I think he's the Afundi today in the world. There's no bigger than him in that. Or maybe there is, I don't know. Anyway, Michael DeRozan in that letter sent this letter to his friend. His friend is Haim Guri. Haim Guri is also a writer. Because there was both writers, he asked that letter to Haim Guri. And he asked him to warn the Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin that he's going to be assassinated. If you read the letter, I brought it to you. So from that letter, you can say, you know what? I can know the future. Nachon? Can I decode the future? This is one sample. According to Michael DeRozan, he said that the same thing happened that they managed to find with Kennedy. Also with Anwar Sadat, that they found out that he's going to be also assassinated. Those three. Okay. But it's not so simple like Michael DeRozan make it. And why? And that's the debate that I have on Sunday, and I ask Meish to come to my house and we have a debate. Why? Because we don't know what's going to happen. Number one. Number two, we don't know where it's going to happen. We don't know the characters in that case. What does it mean? Let me give you an example. In the case of Rabin, we know that the murderer that was involved, who was involved? Yigal Amir, mentioned there. We know that he's going to be murdered, assassinated. We don't know exactly when, but it said it. Now, let's move a bit. How many of you heard about the 9/11? All of you. The Twin Tower.
Yeah.
If you go and look at that decode, there we'll see that it's mentioned the number 2. Okay? Aeroplane. Destruction. many people, all in one verse. The Gaon Mivilna mentioned in the Torah, not just when you write the Gaon, you'll see the Gaon Mivilna with his name. That means that Eliyahu, his name was Rabbi Eliyahu ben Shlomo, been mentioned there, and it's a Gaon Mivilna. What I'm trying to say, that when we put a human being's name, you can find where he lived. You can find where he was. Only if we know the history. The Rambam, you remember the Rambam, Rabbi Moshe ben Maimon. It's mentioned in the Torah. You know where is it mentioned? When the Torah speak about the 613 mitzvot. What book the Rambam wrote? That's what I shared with Mesh, you remember? Mishneh Torah. Mishneh Torah, what is it speaking about? The 613 mitzvot. That means that when you mention in the Torah, the verse in the Torah will speak, number one, about what's connected to you. Number two, it will tell you all the detail that belong to you. So let's summarize here now, because the time is late. And we can go on and on and on. I have to summarize, yes.
Okay, I mean, let me put a spell in the works.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe in the covenant, don't get me wrong, but the fact is hindsight is a 2020, or what they say, hindsight is 2020, which means the cynic, and I'm sure there are as many cynics as of the code as there are believers and
Yes.
provers,
Yes.
can say, listen, when you know what happened, it's so easy to do it. It's the same thing with Confucius. Confucius made all these strange and wonderful
No.
things, and people put into, they go and they
There's one
they
difference.
devise the stuff there. I mean, I know, I understand it in whatever much of that. I've seen videos of this where the guy said, yes, it happened. But listen, you start, why start with the tough? Start with another letter. Start with another letter.
Yes.
The fact is,
But be careful.
I mean, I'm not disputing it, but the fact is, there are as many people, I'm sure there are more people that dispute it than
Of course.
Very
Of
good. So
course.
now I'm going to answer you. I'd say I don't have a lot of time because it's going to take at least 5-6 hours to explain. They took another Hebrew book, but not a holy book. They took all the book, all the space between each word, they canceled, they put it together. You're listening to me, Rassi? They're trying to decode. Can they find any decode? You know what was the result? Zult. Wait. I'm talking about a human being writing a book. Are you with me, David? Because you like it. They took a book in English. Newton, Isaac Newton. Isaac Newton didn't have a computer, but you know what Isaac Newton said? You heard about Isaac Newton.
And he wasn't Jewish.
Isaac Newton said, Doctor, listen what he said before he died. This book, the Bible, have to be a message. It can't be that there is no message if it's come. Such a genius. That's that I can't find, I can't prove it. But I have no doubt that there is code in that. He couldn't find it. You know why? Because Isaac Newton looked at our book in English. So if the letters is in English, it wouldn't work. Not only that, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, if you take our Holy Torah, cut part of it, even one verse,
Doesn't work.
or 2 verses, put the same amount of letters from a different book, everything doesn't
If
work.
you change one character in the Torah, it doesn't work.
One character,
what doesn't work.
The code.
the code, you can't do any more coding.
You see-
Everything gone ballistic.
You have to be fair to Rabbi Levi. You have to know the mass of equal distance numbering. There are 304,805 characters. Hey,
Not one person here knows it.
no, wait.
I tell you why we don't know it. Because we don't sit on it. You know, when Mesh come and tell me, you remember a few months ago, Mesh said, let's start. We used to give a different show, but then Mesh decided Torah and science, and I jump into it. The amount of time that I'm spending on researching, it's beyond me. I never done it in my life. if you look at the decode, how much you have to understand, you have to sit and research. It's beyond. That's that we don't know it. It doesn't mean that it doesn't exist, Rassi.
I agree with you. So the-
Tommy, I want to ask you something.
This is the forum.
No, there's much more to learn, to
I don't
understand.
think this is the forum, that's what I'm saying.
Why not?
Because I think it's beyond most of people.
No, it's not.
No,
I think you've told us what you want us to believe, not what we do believe.
no, I brought you proof. I don't want you to believe. There's proof to
You're
it.
being unfair to yourself. I think we must stop the recording.
Wait. No. But I'm going to give you a site, and I want you to go to it. When you have free time, go look there, and maybe you can put your name. You know, there is a computer there that you can put your name. Put your Hebrew name, Yerachmiel ben Moshe. That's your Hebrew name, am I right? Put Yerachmiel ben Moshe and see where you find it. You can decode it yourself. In our Holy Bible, there is a computer, there is a site. But wait, so let's try it. So I don't think that it's very difficult. I think that everyone believes in it. And I don't want to sell you something that I don't believe. If I didn't believe in it, I wouldn't come and lecture it. That's number one. But let's summarize because we're running very, very late. We were supposed to finish 10 minutes ago. So we say that this is a proof that the Torah written by the Almighty. And you know why the Almighty? Because if a person can mention 5,776 years ago, when we received the Torah, all of those names, all of those characters that was in the past and what's going to be in the future, because it's unlimited. Nachon? And because it's unlimited, only him can write our Holy Torah, not a human being. That's number one. Every event that we can find in the Torah, it's only after it's happened, because we don't know what's going to happen in the future. That's the only
You know
difference.
what to look for.
But every event that happened, you know already what's happened. You know what to look for. Okay? Not only that, and with that I would like to end that. They took the book, the Jewish Religious Encyclopedia, and they look there and they search for 34, the most mentioned name in the encyclopedia. Do you hear about this?
The sages.
The sages that they found. Reminds them also newly Rabbonim. They took those 34 names and they put it in a Bible code to find it in the Torah. They found all of them. What are we learning from here? We seeing from here one simple thing. And that's what I came to pass the message tonight. The message is that the Torah that we receive is not a Torah that's been written by human being. The Torah that we receive, it's from the Creator. Because what the codes that we can find there, you can't find in any other books.